everyone, this is Ange. Welcome to another episode of the Visual Novel Monthly Recap. This is a video series where I highlight news related to major visual novel releases and the community for each month. In this video, I'll highlight anything that happened in August of 2022. This technically happened at the way end of July, but at the Otakon convention, Manga Gamer announced two new visual novel projects: Funbag Fantasy 4, another sequel in the long-running Nukige series, as well as Nightmare X Sisters, Sacrifice of Lust Hell, developed by Guilty Nightmare Project. For those who like the GOG store, Sekai Project has released Amatsusumi there, as well as the 18+ DLC for the Ditzy Demons Are in Love With Me. Ninetale has created another Kickstarter for the Venus Blood series, this time for the English translation of Venus Blood Gaia. And as per usual of Ninetale's goodwill, Gaia fulfilled its base goal very quickly. For those who are fans of Everlasting Summer, apparently a long time ago, the same developers promised a new visual novel, Love, Money, Rock and Roll, 7 years ago, but it's gotten heavily delayed. Thankfully, this month, this visual novel finally got released. Based on the Steam page, it appears to be a romanticism of the 80s or something. Sekai Project has released Fan-Na's Miku no Kanata, Curious Tales from Oguni Shrine. This was made by the same developers who made Real Life Plus version Kaname Komatsuzaki. An English fan translation patch has been released for Amayui Labyrinth Meister. This is a visual novel developed by Usually, who has created other visual novels like Kamino Rhapsody and Kamidoi Alchemy Meister. Usually visual novels tend to be a mix of visual novel and strategy RPG gameplay. I think the patch of Amayui Labyrinth Meister might possibly be a heavily edited machine translation, so if that bothers you, you could probably just skip it. JAST also has their GOG store contribution this month, as now all 4 Flowers visual novels are on there. Sekai Project has released yet another cat-girl visual novel, this time Animal Trail Girlish Square, developed by Whirlpool. Though I suppose in this case, only one heroine is a cat girl, while the other is a human idol. An English fan translation of Nagomi Bako Innocent Grey fan disc was released. It's a fan disc of Cartagra and the currently untranslated Pipi Pianissimo Ayatsuri Ningyo no Rimbu. If you've read at least one of these visual novels, it could be worth a try out this fan disc. In a very unfortunate twist of fate, only 1 month after Chaos Head Noah was announced for Steam at Anime Expo, it got banned on Steam preemptively. This ban is especially egregious because Chaos Head Noah is not 18+, it's technically a slightly censored version of a previously released visual novel, and Chaos Child got on Steam with no problem. Doesn't help Chaos Head Noah still has the green light on Switch. So far there's no announced plans of what Spike Chunsoft plans to do for an official PC release of Chaos Head Noah going forward. Nekonyarn has announced that they are doing an English translation of Aokana Extra 2. This is the second fan disc for Aokana and is a story-based sequel to Misaki's route from the original Aokana. It's already 100% translated, so there likely isn't too much work and could release within a year. A feature me and many others have been hoping for has been added to VNDB, a way to add localization staff for translations of visual novels. Nekonyarn has released the Making Lovers After Stories fan disc on Steam, Manga Gamer, JAST, and Denpasoft. If you enjoyed the original Making Lovers, or at least one of the routes, this fan disc could be worth looking into. I personally enjoyed it, but just keep in mind each route is very short and only contains sequel routes to the original 5 heroines. Each route should take you about an hour tops, and that's if you read the 2 H scenes in each route in full. Shirobune has released Tama Kagura Tales of Turmoil on Steam and Joren. I don't know much about it besides the Twitter description, a yokai slaying RPG tactics game with a Shrine Maiden twist. It's made by the same developers who made Onmyoji in the Otherworld and the Dawn of Kagura series. An interesting release called Muyu Senkyo Romanesque Chronicles of Refugia released on Steam. It's a visual novel by a brand new developer, Medium, and appears to have a premise about a life post a catastrophic global warming. Vertilish, or Molly Lee, the translator of titles like You and Me and Her, A Love Story, and Fashioning Little Miss Lonesome, is both the translator and localization PR for the English language version of this visual novel. This is important as apparently this visual novel is a worldwide release for both Japan and the West, so I'm not sure what people actually think of the visual novel just yet. A new partial fan translation patch of Hokago Cinderella released. The routes for Yoka, Tamomi, and Tsukushi are now translated in English. The newest patch can be found on After School TL's Discord. Sekai Project released a demo of Watamari, A Match Made in Heaven Part 1 on Steam. It looks to be a girls' love visual novel with a main character being a female spy joining an all-girls school, so if that interests you, feel free to check out the demo and then wishlist it if you want to buy it later on. Your Turn to Die, Death Game by Majority, has gotten a Steam page. This is notable as it was previously only a fan translation, and it's an episodic visual novel that was getting fan translated by the chapter every so often. Looks like Zero Up Games is the publisher for this, so hopefully by the time it releases officially in English, it'll have all the chapters translated on Steam. I haven't read it personally, but based on the description and what people say, it appears to be a death game kinda similar to Danganronpa, kinda dark horror-like, I guess? So it turns out that the original fan translation is the one that's going to be used for the Steam version. Always pretty cool to see a fan translation be liked enough to be recognized by the official developer. I think this is actually from a month or two ago, but Abaraz released an English fan translation patch for Relief Shiniaru Anata e. This is an interesting fan patch as it can only work on the Steam version, which currently only has Japanese and Chinese language support. The patch is specifically on the guides page on the visual novel Steam store, and you basically have to patch files in while in Japanese language mode after buying and downloading the visual novel on Steam. As for the visual novel itself, there's apparently a light sci-fi premise where people can go to an experimental facility to get a second chance in life or something. JAST has released Inyochu, Insects of Insemination. This appears to be a very dark Nukige, and based on the title, insects will be involved. And that is it for August 2022 visual novel news. As always, if you have any feedback, positive or negative, feel free to leave a comment below in this video or one of my social medias. See you all next month. A very special thank you to Max Happyface and Marie Antoinette, who are now monthly paying members of the VN Weirdo tier on this channel. Much appreciated. And a very special thank you to Bruce Gone Loose for the super thanks donation. Always much appreciated.